FM is ELBC Radio. Today is Thursday and it's August 31, 2023. My name is Melvin Stewart. I'd like to welcome you to the Super Morning Show this morning. My guests are already in studio. Three of the four guests from the PTA Montserrat County 1 and 2 are already in studio in presence of Madam Louise P. Wizard. She's PTA. She's from the PTA of Montserrat 1. Reverend Frederick Batu Senior is from Montserrat. That's Montserrat 2. And that of Mr. Arthur T. Dawson. He's from Montserrat 2. We are still expected to have with us Mr. Eldon T. Sherman from the National PTA Vice President. Okay, he's the Vice President of the PTA of Montserrat 1 or 2. As soon as he steps in, then we get him on board as well. So wherever you are, good morning or welcome. We can now start our discussion with these three persons. Let me welcome. It's a lady before gentlemen. Good morning, Madam Wisa. How you doing?
I'm good. Good morning.
And let me speak, sir. Reverend Frederick Batu Senior. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
And not forget
Brother Arthur T. Dawson,
okay.
Montserrat 2.
How are you people doing this morning?
Great, good God, great.
Okay. Thank you. Let me start with Reverend Frederick Batu. You from Montserrat. That's Montserrat 2.
That's a lot of work.
Okay. But it's here. Okay, Montserrat 1, no problem. Let me do the correction. And
Yeah.
Reverend Batu, how is the PDA in Montserrat 1?
Okay. I'm on this team basically because I worked for close to 9 years from the private school sector. Okay, as president, PTA chairperson for the FA Public Church School, and also work along with the national PTA as one of the executives planning and implementing programs. So PTA in Montserrat, from our end as private institutions, it's very cardinal, and we uphold to the tenets of involving parents in the educational sector to ensure that there is a collaboration with parent, teachers, and guardians towards the educational system in collaboration with regulatory stakeholders for the implementation of educational program of the nation.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let me hear from Madam Wise.
Actually, for our own sector as Montserrat 1, we shall stand as a county chair. We have been having some series of difficulty with the PTA because we noticed that most of our parents are not complying with the issues concerning our children, because you will see that most of the children, parents will not come to PTA meeting or meeting at call. So when the meeting are called and they don't come, sometimes they will send kids to come and represent kids. So when decisions are made from the public school sector, when decisions are made, they won't be there, but then they will come up to report it to be able to be called in the ministry and doing other things that is not complying with the PTA. So we are here this morning to actually talk to them, encourage them to be part of PTA, because it's our business, because it's our children that are in the school. So sometimes we have meeting to be able to buttress the effort. Excuse me a little before I go through. I'm going to first of all extend my thanks and appreciation to the Ministry of Education, the Minister, the TMA, and the TMI. They have been hard in supporting us as county to be able to make the show a success today. So like I was saying, when we have meeting and come up with anything that we agree upon, the ministry is not saying that PTA should not collect or PTA should not help or portray the effort. So when we come up and have the meeting and come up with an agreement, other parents will go straight and call the ministry and start saying things that are not factual and accusing the Ministry of Education that they are extending fees, they are doing this and they are doing that. Sometimes you have to get on the campus as a parent to meet the PTA, the local PTA in that school, and ask them what is going on. If you know, you cannot attend meeting or have the number.
Madam Wisa, before I come to Mr. Dawson, what's the importance of the Parents Teachers Association?
Yeah, the importance of
I will get all of your views on this, on the importance.
Yeah, the importance is to be able to create a good learning environment for our children, to be able to work with the administration to make our school system well. Because if you are PTA, you are the voice of the children, you are the voice of the people. You buttress every effort of the administration, especially for the public school sector. Because the public school sector, the government will not do everything. Remember, we PTA, we are the stakeholders, we are the voice. So we should be able to go and make cardinal decision on behalf of our children. Because if you don't do that, at the end of the day, if you don't go to do your own contribution or be part of it, at the end of the day, will not be. So the importance of it is for every one of us to come together and make decisions for our children.
Okay, Mr. Dawson.
Yeah, firstly, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to you this morning for having us on this show. And also want to extend my thanks and appreciation to Amanda Zuta, Reverend Daulo, the CEO and the DO for Montserrat too, and also that of the various ministers at Ministry of Education. The importance of the PTA, PTA as a whole, from the public sector, we own the school within the community. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you for true, that there is a school now in Left Bend, the Vonson School. I want to briefly give a big thanks and appreciation to the resident of that Vonson Town community, because actually they have been helping the government to upkeep that institution. As we speak, they are planning a mass meeting for next Sunday, not this coming Sunday, second Sunday.
Yep.
So, we as parents, we own the institution. As community dwellers, when the government bring things in, after when they have taken the things in, we as parents are there to safeguard the infrastructure and the property of the institution. So that's why we play our role as PTA.
So you in Monserrato too, right?
Yeah.
Where is that precisely?
From the bridge or Stevendale Estate,
okay,
all the way to Broadway and also to Tootie.
And how are parents cooperating with the PTA there?
Was probably not too well,
because Madam Wisa spoke about challenges they face in Monserrato 1. Mm-hmm. Parents are not calling for meetings.
They don't have attend meetings. That's why we are here to socialize them, because the only time you get parents to come for PTA meeting is when you are distributing report cards. Once you're not giving cards in call meeting, 6, 7, 10, 20, 14, and when decisions are made, it affects the entire body.
Why you think parents will be reneging on the on attending PTA meetings when they spend their money behind their kids and they want them to be better people in the future, and they will just relax and forget about attending meetings? Why you think they will be taking such a trend?
I don't know why they create that tendency for, because when after registration, they don't have to visit the campus. So we are urging parents not only for grades or other things, not to only pay money, but to follow the kids' activities on campus. Check on the administration, see where your interaction with the kids and the teacher. Mm-hmm. But they don't check on campus. So we're urging them.
Okay, let me hear from Reverend Batu Senior. Reverend, what from your own perspective, why you think PTA meetings should be held?
Yeah, we can now underestimate the importance of parent involvement in school. Like I said earlier, the running of a school is a system. Okay, like the body has a system, right? So the school or management is a system, and parents or guardians' involvement is cardinal. So the smooth running of an institution, especially an educational institution, required parents' involvement. And to be able to work alongside the school management in terms of the school leadership to ensure that quality education, now the hallmark of everything that is, we want quality education for our children.
Good.
Okay, and that quality education cannot happen without parents' involvement. So if we achieve quality education for the forward movement of this nation, parents cannot sit on the fence. So PTA becomes the forum where parents can talk, their voice can be heard, and can engage and work alongside to solve some of the issues that may arise in the school system to be able to correct them and help also to resolve them. So parent involvement in education is a matter of must. No parent should sit on the fence and send their child to school without getting involved in how the child achieve that education. So coming to meetings, attending PTA meetings, and not only PTA meetings, but visiting the campus regularly to check on the children. It's very important. So we cannot underestimate the involvement of PTA. PTA means Parent Teacher Association, and that means that parents must get involved. We should not leave our children just with the school system, but we are part of that system to make it work. We have to play our role by attending meetings, as my colleagues have said, by attending meetings and making contribution and sacrifices. Like we have saying here, everything is not just government.
Yeah.
It's not just government. If the government play her role in the system and parents do not play the role in the system, then also something happened to the system. So the Bali system, the PTA is a system. Parents are part of the system and will also play that role, or else you won't have a functioning educational system if parents are not involved.
Okay, we've just been joined by Erin T. Sherma. He's the National PTA Association Vice President from Monserrata 1 or 2?
National.
Okay, national. Okay, big position. Let me welcome you. Just you can just swap the mark. Okay, just okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Sherman. How you doing?
I'm okay.
You have a very big portfolio, Vice President. You are the high-ranking member in the hall this morning. I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from you. How is it? You are the second in command at the PTA in Liberia. Let's hear your role. How is it? How has it been over the period?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I come to explain my role, I want to first of all appreciate the Ministry of Education for their contributions or their role play within the WAEC process, and also WAEC for what they have done for our children. The first time to have 90% of students having successful pass. So I want to appreciate them because the mechanism they put in place is working. But there are still gaps. So that's where the PTA comes in. So I want to appreciate them for that work because at least our children, we are getting somewhere in our education sector. Okay, for the role of the National PTA, the National PTA is an autonomous body advocacy group that work with the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders for the enhancement of quality education. We are there to advocate to make sure that parents get involved in the education sector. Parents must participate in PTA meetings, school activities, and also decision makers. So the parents have a vital role to play in the education sector. They are stakeholders. But the reason why many of the parents are lacking behind, my colleague was explaining, parents are not getting adequate information on the roles and responsibility of their participation of their involvement. So somehow the National PTA and other stakeholders trying to carry an awareness to inform the parents that they have stake in the education sector, they have stake to participate and visit school campus and make decisions. Because when they do not go to the school campus or do not attend PTA meetings, it affects decisions that are made in the PTA meetings by a few people. The parents will start crying, alarming on school fees or other activities. But when everyone's are all involved or there participating, sharing an idea and come up with one decision, it will help.
What sort of awareness you're talking about? If I'm a father and I spend my money on my child to go to school, it should be my responsibility. It should be obligated upon me as a father to make a follow-up. Why now? Why should you be doing awareness? Why should you say you want to create awareness for parents to keep them?
Because they are lacking behind. Some parents are aware.
And so how do you go? So how do you go about with that awareness program?
Okay,
sir?
there's some of the awareness that we are making now. And we have been having meetings, district coordination meeting with PTAs in various schools, conducting trainings, and to make sure that they should understand their rules and responsibility in the school, in the running of the schools. So these are some of the awareness. We came out training. We even have meetings with the PTAs in our various districts in the counties. I can remember far by 2021, we visited some part of the country like Grand Cru, Maryland, Grand Gita in the southeast. we understood that there is a big gap of parents' involvement within the education sector, because people, they never knew that they have a stake to play. They are decision makers. And the Reform Act gave them the power also as a stakeholders within the education sector. Because if the school and the community do not work together, you don't have a better school. Because the school and the community, if they work together, will have a successful family and educated children, students in our community. Because when they discipline from the community, discipline from the school, decision makes together, we will give a better output.
So how do you run the PTA? How do you go about with the adjudication of your functions? How do you cut across the country?
For instance, for the national PTA angle, we have structures.
Okay.
For the national, we have the advisory board. We have the executive, the national executive. Then we've had district coordinator, we've had county coordinator, we've had regional coordinators. And we also have a platform where we communicate through or gather information. We have regional coordinators that move around from county to county to make sure and gather information and give us feedback from what is happening on the field.
Do they give you some good feedbacks? Talking about some of the prospects observing those places they've traveled over the period, or they are about to travel as well?
Yeah, for instance, if they are going to field, we have a database where if you are going to, what information you're going to gather. So on the statistics that they bring back, sometimes we have good feedback. Like for instance, for the past time, the Ministry of Education, GPE RS grant help us to at least to renovate some of our school, and there's some infrastructure wise, there are some improvement in that level. Okay. Or for rural Liberia, we see some gaps because adequate teachers. There are a lot of more voluntary teachers in most of our schools. And some of the schools, especially the primary divisions, we have some area where students need chairs, and there are lack of qualified teachers, and teachers quarter. There's some area where you don't find no libraries, and these are things that we gather from those places.
So how do you prevail on government or partners in terms of addressing some of those concerns?
First of all, the first place we engage is the Ministry of Education, because we know that there are donors or government is allotting budget for a series of activities of improvement in the education sector. So if we meet with the Ministry of Education, we have discussion with them, then we can start engaging partners and giving them the feedback. Because when we get a response from the ministry, this is what we but we are done this, but we are unable to reach this level. So we want you to reach the level. We need your contribution, because the PTA also has a role to play in that. So sometimes we use, we cannot get partners. So the school registration fee and the PTA fee that is collected within the school, so it closes some of the gaps. You see, like for voluntary teachers payment, there were PTA come in most of the time, and school maintenance, these are areas to work in.
Okay, let me come to Mr. Dawson. You in Monserrato 2. That's Monserrato 1, huh?
Monserrato 2.
Okay, Monserrato 2. Okay, give us some of your success stories as a PTA over the period. What have you gained as an institution in terms of meeting up with what you expect as an institution?
Well, as an institution like PTA, we engage some of the parents from the Tory Bell, which one of the institution completely down. And we talked to them, we prevailed on the CEO, and the CEO was to level with the ministers, and the schools actually were giving a facelift.
Okay.
It came from the anchor of the.
How many schools are we talking about?
5 institutions.
What are those? What are those schools? You can remember them offhand?
They're all in the Tory Bell.
Okay, in the Tory Bell. So, what were some of those works done on them?
Where pit latrine were changed. From pit latrine, we renovated the bathrooms, classroom, additional chairs were made, benches, and the roof places that were leaking. Total change, total renovation took place through the help of the CEO and that of the Ministry of Education on advocacy from the parents.
So when you're doing these works, do you go out to do the assessment, or it is a call from the school's administration to you as a PTA to help to help them do some of these works we're talking
We
about?
get call from the parents, and parents have make complaint, and we engage the DO, and DO also engage the CEO, also that of to the ministry, and their intervention came in.
Where do you get the money from to do the work?
The government, public school.
So as a PTA, you don't raise anything like due or nothing like that. You just depend on government, because this is all about Liberia, and you are not what the country does for you, but what you do for your country.
Yeah, the government allowed also we do have our meeting. That was the important call for meeting, and we agreed upon whatever taxation we'll come up with.
Mhm.
We got our meetings. In principle, the secretary of the PTA do our meeting, take it to the DO, and the DO take it to CEO. From there, when they review it, when it's tangible, they give the go ahead. Then we do that. And we have to do some minor renovation, other things on campus.
So now the school year is about to start, 2023-2024. What is the plan so far?
Our plan so far, yeah,
Or you don't want to let the cat out of the bag?
No, we are still in the review. We are, especially we are not talking on the vulnerability of the various schools that are renovated by Aras grant. Because like our school, ETMI, have been broken into about 7 times.
By criminals?
Criminals, yeah.
Hmm.
So we are begging on hiring.
Don't you have security?
We have security, but they're not enough. We have only 2. So we are bidding the parents have been on that while we need additional security.
Okay.
So we are bidding to the ministry to see them work in that direction, because actually the government have done the work. Because if you see the school before then, they got a facelift now, attractive. So the guy said, "Oh yeah, needing and posting things in and out." So they, every now and then they break into the building.
It's a major challenge. Okay, let me hear from Madam Wiese. You too. What have you acquired so far since the last academic year? What are the positives?
First of all, I want to say thank you to my CEO, which is CEO for Maserati One, and President Mr. Boakai. I want to thank you so much for your hard work and full attendance. But you see, actually, I want to say PTA have tried and the government have done well, but we need to try harder. Like last year, we were able to, like the Kennedy Church, through the help of Watch, to be able to construct a good latrine, because first we had a challenge. We didn't have a good latrine, and the Arabs grant have been helping the school, and through advocacy, we were able to talk to the Ministry of Education to be able to help our schools with some material like chairs and other things. But right now the challenge is more because we're talking about security issue. If you check in Maserati One, like the Sodiwin Public School, the Wintown Public School, the Kennedy High School, and other schools have been like through a serious issue where we have criminal coming in. Right now the government is trying, but security is a strong challenge that we have. Looking at the effort that the school is having a good faith lift now, we have criminal being attracted of it. You understand? So the PTA, that's where the PTA come in. Sometimes we have meetings, like we said, we have few parents in the meeting and telling them that, oh, we need to contribute this amount to purchase the ministry effort, what we can do for Liberia to keep our school better.
Are they responsive in that direction?
They are actually not. Sometimes the ones that will come to the meeting will respond, but the one that will not come, they will call the ministry that the administration is exploiting them. They are collecting money for them. They are eyeing the school fee up. They are doing other things. So when the ministry came in and tell us that if we want to deal with the parents, we should have the parents, we deal with them before registration, or we should have our own area where we can deal with them directly, not at the register level. Where PTA, we have people posted to be able to collect whatever we agree upon to help our security and our janitor. That is one of the more challenges that we have. And to enable us to protect the school as a community, as a parents, we should be able to at least contribute to the school to be better. Like the other time, they raped all the whole iron gate for one of our officers in our school. And one time, they took away their chairs, they took away their things. So people even go there to use the place to defecate in the classes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, when school closes, we still need to maintain the security. Because if we leave the school vulnerable, the school will be,
It will be at risk.
Will be at risk. So actually, we have been having those challenges in Maserati 1. And we are also taking the time. You will not believe if we are doing our tour and go to some school, they don't have PTA.
Wow.
Children are in the school, there is no PTA. There are government schools that we are
working. Then how are those schools being run without the involvement of the PTAs?
That is the issue. That's why we have come today, like our vice president was saying, to be able to talk to parents, conscientize them that every school must have PTA. Every school will have PTA to be able to work with a national network. You understand? In collaboration with the county chair, because like for me, I'm chair over the entire Maserati 1.
Okay.
So when there is an issue, it comes to me. From that, we take it to the CEO, and we'll be able to handle it. Actually, our CEO have been trying. There is no one day that the PTA call him and he don't come to be able to help us in the process. So we have so many issues with our parents. There is no school in Maserati or in the entire country, in the country at large, that should not have a PTA.
How many schools under your supervision?
Wow.
More than 1,500?
Oh, more than that. You understand? But
how do you go to those places? You want to supervise, or you want to maybe do some evaluation, or just check on them and see whether they are perfectly running and doing all of the necessary things that you as a PDA will expect of them?
Actually, that's where one of the challenges comes. We are talking to our partners and other people to be able to help us with something together. But sometimes you will get
something like what?
Like car.
Okay, you need
like motorbike. You understand?
You need motorbike.
Motorbike to be able to move to the school, because sometimes we'll get on a motorbike, charter the motorbike, go from school to school. But we also have our chat room.
Yeah.
Where in our chat room we'll pass out information for the few schools that have PTA. I tell PTA.
You use your own money to get to those places.
Yeah, sometimes we use our own money.
Is that hectic for you?
Very hectic.
Where do you get the money from? Apart from the PTA work, do you get paid?
You don't get paid. PTA are not paid at all. That's a voluntary job.
Law for country.
Yes, and our children. Because if we don't do that, it will sit back and wait for government. Government cannot be everywhere at the same time doing things that you think you can do. So if we parents see it and we report it to government, the government can come in to be able to work on that. So now we are crying to government that we don't have security. But before government can come in, what are we doing? We should be able to maintain the security and the janitor. Because if we do that, our school will be safe.
Okay, Reverend, back to you just swapped them out. Okay, thank you. You from Maserati too? I mean, one as well. Yeah. So you heard your chair. Do you have any addition to what you just said?
Yes, the issue of the establishment of PTA in the various school system, various schools in Maserati. Or in the country, it's not just the government school. I have had experience in the private school sector. That's where I serve, in all my PTA voluntary engagement. So there are some private schools, especially schools that are owned by proprietors. They don't allow PTA to function. Sometimes,
Are they? Why would they? Why you think so?
Sometimes PTA is in the school, but PTA does not have a voice. The PTA in some of those private schools are there to meet for creative sharing purpose. Now, part of our advocacy here this hour is every school, regardless of government, private, should have a PTA. And for the private school, from my experience, we have done a lot. When the private school PTA is functioning and parents' fees are collected, it puts parents in a position to give back to the institution. So we are here today to appeal to all school proprietors or principal, school administrators, to give the PTA a space on their school campuses so that PTA can be active. Because when the PTA is active, some of the problems that the school go through will be resolved. I have had the opportunity to serve as PTA chairperson as well as serving on the board of the school, because a PTA chairperson is also a member of the board. And at the board level, There's decisions that are made when parents are not in a meeting to be able to speak on behalf of the parents. Guess what happened? School fees are arbitrarily carried out without parents having a stake in that discussion. So we are encouraging all school, private or public, to ensure that PTA have a space. And one of the things we want to do from here is that we will visit schools.
Okay.
Schools that do not have PTA want to engage the school authority to ensure that, hey, get PTA a space. Let the parent have their own organization. Let the PTA be run by the parent. You go to a PTA meeting, and who is chairing the meeting? That the principal of the school,
or the VPR,
or the VPR, or the proprietor of the school. That is wrong. It should be chaired by the parent. It should be chaired by the parent, and that is what we or the PTA, the national PTA policy, speak to. It talks about parents getting involved in the education of the child. And that cannot happen if parents are not giving a space.
Are there plans on the way to ensure that schools that will be school administrators that will refuse to have PTAs in their schools be fined and serious punitive measures against them? Are there plans to do such?
No, at this stage, what we want to do is not to think about fine, right? Is to talk about, firstly, maybe
in our Liberian way, we say if you don't put the fire on the turtle's back, it will not work. So there should be some measures.
Yeah, I would think let us start the engagement. Yeah, I want to take it at that load.
Okay.
Let's start the engagement first and see what obstacle we're going to see. If we cannot overcome it, we'll look into our national policy and our bylaws and see what can we do. But at this stage, I don't know what the policies speak. I
will hear from the VP, the vice president.
Okay, because we are advocacy group, and I don't think we should go about putting fines on people. Okay, the only thing we'll tell you is that these are the benefits. If you go to the school that have served as PTA chairman for 8 years, if you go to that school and you see the investment that the parent made, we are also build a gymnasium for the school. We are also build playground for the children. We want to have a PTA office that we constructed ourselves. So we are carrying the success story to these schools to allow the parents to have their own organization and see what will happen in the next distant future about with the educational system there. So yeah, maybe fine can come, but I would not want to support fining. I would want to say to the PTA, engage those people, share the success story with them. They need to have PTA in their school, and the people who will not buy the idea, then we can decide as an institution or the national body, what can we do? Yeah.
Okay, let me hear from Mr. Shemer. Mr. Shemer, you heard all of the speakers, and I guess you have some other suggestions, or you have some other contributions to make to them as it relates to the effectiveness of the PTAs in Liberia.
Yes, I have that. For instance, we are come together to create this awareness to our parents out there and to our school administrators on the issue of the PTA. PTA, parents' involvement in education is paramount. You know, we talk about education with the parents. Without the parents saying I children to school, there will be no school. Without the school, the children will learn. And everyone that is out there, they are parents. The school administrator, the teacher, everyone, support staff, everyone are parents. We have a children that need to go to school.
Yeah.
And with the education, the level of education we have, it will help us to have a better nation. So as a national PTA, my colleague said about the engagement with the stakeholders. Yes, we are not about to create fund, because most of the time is that PTA before school have obtained permit from Ministry of Education, or even you register your school. There is a space there to put PTA, to register PTA, because you cannot register your school at Ministry of Education and where there is no PTA name is there. Because they will also want to ask, you need to have a PTA. Your PTA will be there, and before they will, in case anything, they will contact the PTA. Because the PTA there represent the parents. So we try to encourage our school administrators. Every institution need to have a PTA, parents involvement. This grouping will help to enhance the education, the learning process. Because if you, for instance, if a child leaving from the school, going to the community, they are wanting to learn from the school. They learn, if the teacher say A is A is Y. When they goes to the parents, they will tell the parents, say, when the parents say that black, they will say, no, this is what my teacher says. So when the parents come for the meeting, in the meeting, what will be discussed there, or what you are experiencing from your child, because you have the right to visit the school and know your child and know progress. If you understand the teacher that is teaching your child, what your child, how they are performing, because our children have different attitudes. They perform different attitudes at home, they perform different attitudes at school level. So if you go there, you know how well is your child is performing. So we are there to encourage our school administrators and also our parents to attend PTA meeting. This because this is what it. The school administrators are already aware that there should be a PTA meeting, that should have a PTA structure. But because it's a volunteer-based organization, so many people don't want to serve in that capacity.
Nobody wants to volunteer. They want to carry something home at the end of the day.
It's a sacrificial era. We have to sacrifice to build the capacity of our children. We have to strengthen the education sector. The parents are also part.
What are you also thinking about? You heard Madam Wisa spoke about the lack of mobility to move to some of these places. What are you doing as a national PTA?
Yeah, for this academic year, we are coming with a lot of strategies, and we all are going to meet and discuss the strategy that we are coming up with. But before the strategy that we are working on, that we have now, we are about to go for our convention, national convention.
When is that?
It's in November. So after our national convention,
where are you going to have that?
No, we are contemplating Alok or Nimba.
Okay.
So when it come up, after the convention, the leadership have a lot of strategies coming on board with it to make sure we change the dynamic to move to play our role as a PTA. We need logistics. The national PTA need logistics. I was in a donor meeting just a few days ago. The components that make education vibrant, strengthen education, the national PTA, the parents, the teacher associations, the Ministry of Education, county school board, district school board. These are the areas that make the education very stronger, because all will help come together as a monitoring arm to make sure that the right thing is done in the classroom.
Okay. So, now, before we open the lines to speak with the public, what is the collaboration? How is the coordination like between the National PTA and that of the National Teacher Association of Liberia?
Oh, we are in cordial relationship. We face each other. We sit down. We discuss issues pertaining to our education sector. Teachers' issue, they bring it to us. We also go to them with parent issues. So we come up with some understanding on the education sector. Maybe the principal association will always meet. What we have we have a little problem on the student side, especially the student union LISU. Okay, for that level, the most deal with the tertiary university level. Okay. But for the class, for the lower level, there's the junior high, the senior high academic side, they don't really focus. So we want to make sure that
are you telling them that they should include them as well?
They should include them on the leadership and even decision making participation meetings with them, because
are they adherents to what you tell them?
They are working towards that bit by bit. They are working towards that, but they restrict that to some of the public school. But private school is the largest area where education is growing. So we should also focus and get the private schools involved in all of our education activities.
Okay, well, listeners, if you just joined us, you're listening to the Super Morning Show on ELBC Radio. Those of you watching us on LMTV, thanks for joining us this morning from across the globe. It's always a pleasure following LMTV page and watching all of our activities online. And of course, my guest this morning, Madam Louise P. Wisa. She's the Montserrat County County Chair of the PTA, and alongside her is Reverend Frederick Batu Sr., who is also from Montserrat County 1, of course, the PTA, and Mr. Ato T. Doxin. He comes from Montserrat, that's Montserrat 2. Of course, the national vice president, that's a vice president of the National PTA Association of Liberia, Mr. Aaron T. Sherman. They are my guest this morning. We're talking about the PTA, why the PTA should be established in schools across Liberia. What is the importance of the PTA? These are things that they are talking about this morning. I know you are out there as an administrator of an institution and you want to speak about some of what they've talked about. You can put in your call on 080-514-096, 080-514-096, or alternatively, you can call me on 077-597-8530, 077-597-8530, so that we can talk right here. You can be a student. You can also call and encourage your parents to be a part of the PDA meetings, because you go to school, your parents need to know what is unfolding on campus concerning your well-being. So those things can only be discussed when your parents attend the PDA meetings. 080-514-096, 077-597-8530. These are the numbers you can use to call and be a part. Let me talk to this person. Good morning.